here to this channel. Hey, what's up? How are you doing? I am Julian, and thank you for joining me for this walk and talk. Honey, we are going to hang out. We are at Disney's Hollywood Studios, and we're just going to have a good old time. We're going to walk around, check the views. Good way to just get up and stretch your legs after a long work day. And for those of you all who are interested, we are going to talk about Miss Beyoncé Knowles Carter. Yes, honey, we are going to talk about the Cowboy Carter Tour and how Beyoncé is basically breaking all of our bank accounts, which you all know how it is. So without further ado, we're going to wait for a few more people to join the room. Hello, hello, for those that are joining. Let's take a look around before we get into the conversation talking about Miss Beyoncé and how she is truly taking all of our coins. Let's see what the ambiance, what the view is giving here tonight. So I am actually standing near One-Array Railway, which is such a cool ride, and I highly recommend for anyone that is making their way over to Florida to come check it out. It is so adorable. You're basically, for those that are unfamiliar, you're on this like track, and really you're on this train that essentially goes off the rails because we all know how Goofy is. Goofy is the conductor, and some stuff happens and we just get on this whole adventure, and Mickey and Minnie are doing their best to keep us safe and try to find us. And we are just getting into all sorts of shenanigans on this ride. It is so much fun and so cool. And for those of you all that get the opportunity to go to the Anaheim location, Disneyland, I honestly think that the ride is better there, not because it's radically different, but mostly because the queue is so much fun. Here at the Chinese theater, the queue is meh. Like, it's not really giving anything. It's giving old Hollywood, like old theater, like budget theater. We need to come and change the carpets and figure out our finances. That's what it's giving, like when you're first in the queue. But once you get past all that and you actually get into the show for the ride and you actually get on the vehicle, it's a completely different experience after that. What we're actually going to do is make our way back down, because I am going to start us on another walkway. We're going to pass by the Tower of Terror and just enjoy being out. The weather is very nice here in Florida. So right now it is in the 70s, which I know for a lot of you all, depending on if you're in the Midwest, if you're in the Northeast, if you're in, even let's just say the Pacific Northwest, like, it's February, it's winter. It feels very bizarre. Like, I've been living here in Florida for a little over a year now, and I still have not entirely gotten used to the fact that it is just very warm during the winter. But I will say, if you were to pick any time of year to come to Florida, if you can swing it, if you can like save your PTO and take your vacations during like off-peak season, come to Florida during the winter. It's not nearly as hot, it's not nearly as humid, and some of the days are much colder. Like just a few weeks back, it was in the 40s, which is really wild and insane. Now, all of a sudden, we're getting back to warmer weather. It certainly feels like spring, getting on to summer. So that's where we're at right now. So right now it's actually quite lovely. I was a little bit worried, like, oh my gosh, am I going to need a jacket? Because once to get down into the 60s, which I know is very laughable for the rest of you all that are freezing in other states and maybe even in other countries, depending on where you're tuning in from. But of course, 60s is still cool. And I am just going to hope that Disney does not find another way to take my coin the same way that Queen Bey is taking all my coins, because Lord knows when I come ill prepared, I always end up having to go to the gift shop and buy like a jacket. So if you missed my last video, we were at Magic Kingdom, and of course it looked like it was going to pour, and I walked out the house not looking at the weather, and I'm like, maybe it's just overcast. We get there, and my co-producer, aka husband, was like, hey, it's supposed to rain. And I'm like, great. Florida rain is intense. It is like nothing you have ever experienced. And so I was just like in a little bit of a panic, because I had like no jacket. I had nothing. And of course, because Disney is on their we're trying to make money game, we get into the park, it's pouring rain. and they had their jackets out on like this rolling cart. And so of course I went ahead, honey, I grabbed my jacket, although it's a really cute jacket. So I highly recommend, if you haven't seen my video where we're at Magic Kingdom on a rainy day, celebrating Cinderella's 75th anniversary, I highly recommend go check that out. It was a lot of fun just to hang out, although for me, as someone who is a local, I do not really enjoy coming to the parks on the weekend. I will do it for you all, but I think we realized, myself, my sister, my co-producer, we were hanging out in Magic Kingdom that day. I want to say like the following day, we went to Epcot and we just had to leave, and we were trying to enjoy the Festival of the Arts. And it was just so busy and so hectic. And I'm like, I want to give you all great content, right? So if I'm in a situation where I just can't do what I am intending to do, I will try to, pivot. Our intention was to come back. I want to say it was like the following day or so to Festival of Arts, but the weather was just horrible. It was rained out. We didn't get a chance to wrap up, but don't you worry. I got you all. So what I ended up doing ultimately was filming some of the other great eats they have at Epcot. So right now in front of us is the Hollywood Tower Hotel, one of my favorite rides. My co-producer sister actually, when we got here, decided to hop on this one. And for those of you all that love your thrills, this is quite fun because of course you are in the elevator, you're going through like the Twilight Zone, and then it's just like a drop, but it's multiple drops, but it's not too crazy. We're gonna actually turn the corner and head over to Rocking Roller Coaster to give you all a little bit of a view, a little bit of peek, honey. And while we are about to head into Rocking Roller Coaster, I think why not go ahead and talk about the Queen, right? Because I think this is appropriate. We're getting into like a section that is themed on concerts and good vibes and, trying to not be late basically to the Aerosmith show. And so we're going to pretend that it's Aerosmith and Beyonce. So I imagine that if this was Beyonce, and welcome in as you're joining in, we are hanging out at Hollywood Studios, and I'm not going to show so much of myself because the whole point of this is a walk and talk. We're going to enjoy the good vibes and the ambiance of Hollywood Studios while we are talking about how the Queen is taking all of our coins. So I don't know about you all, but of course I was both like a little bit surprised about Beyonce actually doing another tour. I didn't think that she was going to do it. Like, I honestly thought that she was going to finish, like, after Cowboy Carter, do her part 3 of Renaissance. And then after doing part 3, I just assumed that at that point that she was going to do a tour and maybe do something where she's capturing like all 3 parts, or, do the latter 2 parts, maybe do a couple of songs from Renaissance. And of course, when she announces her tour post her halftime show at the Texans game on Netflix, check it out. It was so good. That performance actually is what made me think to go ahead and buy the tickets, because I'm going to be real. I'm not going to hold you. I love Beyonce. Cowboy Carter was not my favorite album. Y'all, it's just me. And I know there are some of you that are going to be like, what are you thinking? How could you not like, if you're a proclaimed Beyonce fan? I can like Beyonce and I can still have feedback on some of the music. I think for me, Cowboy Carter on the whole is a good album, and I love the fact that she was ambitious and she decided to, expand her musical genre. And that's what I think I appreciate most about Beyonce, is that she's not afraid to take risks, but also she's in a place in her career where she can take risks. She has a fan base that's mostly going to support her unless she does something that's complete trash, and Beyonce does nothing that's trash. So she, of course, comes out with Cowboy Carter, and I was expecting it to be a bit more country. Now, before you all come for me in the chat, I know that you may be thinking like, well, girl, we're going to take one more jaunt around Rock and Roller Coaster, and then we're going to walk to another section. But they're like, girl, she already said this is a Beyonce album. It is not a country album. And yes, like, I hear you, but I think in my head, I was expecting for it to be a bit more country than what it was. But that's okay. Like, she still had some great bops on there. But every time I tried listening to the album like in its entirety. I can never quite finish it. So I wasn't sure that I was going to go to the tour, but after seeing, you know, that performance, her halftime show, I was sold. I was like, yes. So typically when Beyonce does world tours, which the Cowboy Carter Tour is not a world tour necessarily, like she's not going to as many stops, as many cities, as many countries, I was like, okay, the tickets are probably going to be more competitive because they're definitely going to be a bit more limited. Let's give you a view of this guitar. So that's what I thought. Well, as it turns out, I think that was the case, but I think it was just so competitive, especially when they started doing the pre-sales. I ended up getting my tickets through StubHub, and I paid, I'm not even going to tell you all how much I paid, but I ended up paying a lot more for it than what I thought. And it's myself and two of my other really good friends, and we're going to go see her in Chicago, and I'm so excited. But as soon as I purchased the tickets, yo, I had major buyer's remorse. I don't want to say like I instantly regret it. I just started thinking about my life choices because I have not, what I spent on those tickets. And granted, I'm not sitting, like I'm not going to be on the floor with the mega fans because those tickets are like thousands of dollars. We're not doing that. I love Beyonce. I don't love Beyonce enough to pay thousands of dollars, but I just had this feeling of like, was this the right thing to do? And also, especially because you have Kendrick and SZA who are touring, and I'm like, okay, well, I also would love to see Kendrick because come on now, especially when he goes to Toronto. So I need to actually check back on StubHub and just see like what those tickets are looking like. But I don't know. I went back and forth. One of my colleagues at work was like, Jillian, you're not going to regret it. Like, trust me, when you're there, you know she's going to put on a good show. And I agree. Like, the show is going to be great, and I have no doubt that she's going to crush it, and I know I'm not going to regret it. But y'all, I mean, how are you feeling about it? Like, I don't know. I just, even if you catch this live chat after the fact, like drop down in the comments, tell me like what your thoughts are and how you feel about like if you are planning on going to the show, and if you're not, and let's just say you are a Beyonce fan, tell me why. Of course, I know probably the money is a huge part of it, but the reason why I'm asking the question, like, is Beyonce taking all of our checks? Because number one, we have the Cowboy Carter Tour. Number two, Beyonce has her Bomb Sacred Headline, hair care line. And then now she also has her whiskey. I talk about that in one of my earlier YouTube videos, but she has Sir Davis. And now she came out, she has a perfume, and she came out, I think, with like the second bottle for her perfume. And I'm just like, girl, please stop. And the thing is that like I've tried some of the Sacred hair care line because when she came out with the travel sizes, I was like, okay, I can do that. I do not want to spend hundreds of dollars on hair care that I've never used. But even like getting that, everything is just like adding up, but her stuff is quality, right? Like if you're thinking about trying Beyonce's like hair care line, look at me. Like I should ask Beyonce to, not that she needs for me to promote her, but you know, I'll take a little bit of a cut. But I think about the fact that like all of her stuff is quality. Sir Davis, quality. I have not tried her perfumes yet, but Sacred is actually good. Now, I will say I like the mask, the hydrating mask that she has. I love the protein rice conditioner. There's certain, or the treatment. There's certain things that I like. I don't love everything in her hair care line, and not because it's bad. It's just because for me, I just didn't love it, and I feel like there are other like shampoos, conditioners that are just as great of a quality. But y'all, I am like, I think between Disney and Beyonce, I literally have no check in TikTok shop. Those are the three things that I think are taking up all my coin right now. How are you feeling? Like, what are your thoughts about all this? Like, it's absolutely crazy. And so, I don't know, your girl's gonna have to like really meditate. And I'm talking a lot of shit right now. And who knows, when she comes out with the third part of her album, my mind may completely change, right? Like, it may be a situation where it's like, oh my God, this third part, and everyone's kind of predicting that or speculating is going to be a rock album. And I hope it is. Like, I love to see Beyonce take risks. and try different things. And again, she's in a place where she can. She has a fan base, and nothing that she comes out with is subpar. Nothing. So I'm looking forward to the third act, but I just don't know. I'm like, if she decides to tour the third act, which undoubtedly she will, I don't know. I don't know that I have it in me to continue to spend hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars on seeing her. But you know what? Like, you all just need to continue to promote your girl. Give me those likes. Share my videos. Maybe by the time she comes out with Act 3 and she decides to go on tour, your girl will be monetized. And she, doesn't mind dropping a little bit of coin for you all and telling you all about how that experience is. So right now, we are walking by the Dockside Diner. I've never eaten here, but it's quick service. And it looks like a lot of fun. And here's the thing about Hollywood studios. Like, a lot of stuff here closed, especially the shows, like the Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular. A lot of those things like stop earlier in the day. I think the best time to come here is earlier in the day. You kind of see Indiana Jones here over on the other side of the screen. But you need to actually get here pretty like earlier in the day to really enjoy a lot of the shows. Indiana Jones, Beauty and the Beast. Fantasmic, though, is a fantastic evening show that I absolutely love. And so for those of y'all that are just joining, welcome to Java and Journeys with Jillian. We're doing our Walk and Talk Wednesday, where we're just hanging out. We're enjoying the ambiance, honey, of Hollywood studios while talking about the Queen. And I was just saying that, like, I don't know that I have it in me to spend any more money on a future Beyonce tour. We will see. We'll see what Act 3 is giving. We'll see how my coins are looking. But I would like to see Kendrick Lamar and SZA. If you all are planning on seeing any tours, any shows this summer, drop down in the comments. Let me know, like, do you believe in even spending money to see your favorite artists perform? My sister, which I'm starting to, like, see her perspective of this. But for her, unless, like, the tickets are, like a couple $100s, and I was just like, my sister Whitney, I was like, Whitney, listen, we can spend a couple $100s to see Beyonce, but we're gonna be sitting all the way at the top. And I've seen some of the footage from like the nosebleeds. First of all, I don't do nosebleeds, and I don't say that to be cocky and arrogant. It's just one of those things where it's like you can't see anything. I'll spend a little bit more to be in a better position in like a stadium or at a venue. I'm not going to pay the most though, so that's where we draw the line. Like, it would have to be someone who I love, and there's no one that I love enough to spend thousands of dollars to go see. But I say all that to say that I don't know that I have it in me to spend any more. My sister's just like, I don't really see the point of spending it. And I tried to explain to her, it's about the energy, it's the vibe. Like, and also entertainers like Beyonce don't just stand on the stage and sing some songs with background dancers. Like, she is putting her all. Yo, let me put a pin in that. We're passing by Star Tours, which also Rise of the Resistance is another Star Wars theme ride, which is like, let me tell you something. You don't have to be a Star Wars fan to love Rise of the Resistance. It is, I highly, highly, highly recommend it. But going back, like, she's just like, I just don't see the point. After I spent the money on the Beyonce tickets, literally days after my conversation with my sister, I was just like, you know what? Whitney may just have a point. I think we're getting to a place right now where I'm like, girl, do you understand the economy? Do you understand, like, that a lot of us are trying to, like, hunker down and prepare, at least if you live in the US. I know that right now there's a lot of stuff going on globally, irregardless of your political affiliation. Like, I would say, now, I don't think 2025 is the year to be playing games. There's a lot of things that are unknown right now. You all keep up with world news. We're not going to focus too much time on it because that's not the point of this. But I will say that, like, we're all just trying to make sure that our checkbooks are balanced, that our bank accounts are solid in preparation if anything happens. And you don't want to be in a situation where you are unprepared, right? So we're continuing to make I actually think I'm going to backtrack a little bit. Let me turn around here. But I want to thank you all for joining me on this walk and talk. We're going to continue to make our way around. But yeah, I don't know. I would like to see Kendrick and SZA. I'm hoping that that happens. It would be very delicious to see them in Toronto because you all know about the drama with Kendrick and Drake. And Drake, I don't know what the heck he's thinking. He needs to just take the L and humble himself a little bit. And maybe just like, I don't know, that's my opinion. He needs to have several seats for a while and chill. Maybe, take a break. I'm not saying he needs to quit hip hop, but he may want to think about taking a little bit of pause for the moment. Let me check in with you all. All right. We are actually getting toward the Muppet 3D vision, which that's going to be closing down soon enough, which is a bummer. Like, I love the Muppets, and something that I talked to my husband about is I feel like Disney did the Muppets dirty, especially after Jim Henson passed. Like, I felt like after his passing, they didn't really feel the need to really honor their commitments and really investing in the Muppets, which is like a shame because the Muppets are hysterical. But let me show you all like what this area looks like. And for some weird reason, when I'm live streaming and the gimbal that I'm using for my live streams, there is a button typically where I can like easily turn like the direction of the camera. But for whatever reason, like on the app for the gimbal, I can do it. But when I'm on YouTube or another platform, I have to like actually hit the button on the screen. But yeah, here is Muppet 3D. Y'all, if you are planning to come out here anytime soon, you absolutely should do Muppet Vision before it goes by. The show is so charming. It's a lot of fun. There's a pre-show that's really cool that kind of like sets you up for all the silliness that's going to ensue, but I highly recommend it. I don't know, girl, if I can recommend Pizza Rizzo. I have heard mixed things about Pizza Rizzo. It doesn't have the greatest reputation, but I would like to try before it also shuts down. This whole area over in this corner is going to be changing, but like, look at how charming it is. Like, I don't know. I really wish that they would invest more in the Muppets because the Muppets are like probably, from my perspective, maybe you feel differently, but I feel like they are the least controversial when it comes to like characters and, like entertainers to watch, right? The puppeteering also, to me, there's such an art in that. So I really hope, like, let's just take one more good look at Muppet 3D. And we have Miss Piggy, of course, as the Statue of Liberty. But I am really hoping to get maybe a couple of rounds before this shuts down. Try Pizza Rizzo. Such a vibe over here. I love the way this looks, and I just really hate the fact that they're really changing this whole area around. It almost doesn't feel fair. Doing the Muppets dirty. I would like to see them do more, especially at Magic Kingdom. I'm like, come on now, Disney. Like, get your life together. But needless to say, going back to the topic at hand while we continue our walk and talk for Wednesday, I am looking forward to seeing Beyonce in Chicago. I'm just feeling a little bit nervous. I'm not gonna lie. But I've never been to Chicago. So those of you all, like, please, hit me up, shoot me a message if there is something I would say like really interesting to do in Chicago. I am planning on doing some streaming in Chicago. I don't think I'll do any live streams because I would only prefer to live stream in places that I feel most comfortable, just to be aware of my surroundings a little bit. But if you have any recommendations in Chicago, places to eat, places to see, your girl is cultured. She loves a good museum. I'm all about that. I'm all about being like bougie adjacent. So if you have any recommendations, let me know. We're now walking into like basically the Star Wars land, which is where you have Smuggler's Run and Rise of the Resistance. Oh my God, look at me explaining to you all where things are at. I feel like my co-producer would be so proud. That's basically as much as you all are going to get from me because he is quite the expert and he knows a lot of like the backstory behind some of these attractions and the history behind things. He is so impressive and like smart with that. Y'all, I'm just gonna tell you right now, I'm not that girl. I oftentimes when we're walking and talking, he'll give me like some fun facts that I may throw you all a few gems. but he is quite knowledgeable, and I am trying to convince him to get on camera with me, just even occasionally, just to share some tips and give some like great information about some of these things. But he won't really do it. So I'm hoping one day, the one thing I will say that's, you know, where I roll my eyes is he is also into like dad jokes and puns. He's that kind of person, and sometimes I just like look at him and I'm just like, nope. But he's fun and someone who I think would impress you all with his Disney knowledge. But Rise of the Resistance, the entrance is right here. I really wish I could take you all with me. I was actually just talking to my co-producer and sister before I started the live stream of like, is there a ride I can get on? And maybe like Slinky Dog Dash, but I also don't want to be that person that's like talking on a ride with like this gimbal. If there's a way I could be a bit more discreet, I would absolutely do it. So maybe if I like got on one of these rides and I just didn't have my gimbal and I just held my phone, maybe we'll try that. And of course, we see all the fun props, like the level of detail they did. And again, I am not a huge Star Wars person. I actually, fun fact, only recently saw like the original Star Wars, like, I don't know, within the last like 10 years. I was very, 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 very late to the party. And what's hilarious is after I saw Star Wars, I was like, oh my God, I see why people love it. Like the story is so good. And I was shocked. A girl was shooketh. I did not think that it was going to be that good, but here we are. So we are making our way around Star Wars Land, and it is just so impressive. You see, like, unlike how our engineers did us dirty with the Muppets, you can tell where they're trying to put in the money. You can tell where they're trying to be competitive. You can tell where they care. And this is just like a clear example of all of that. So we're going to continue to make our way around, but I highly recommend. And one of my fondest memories is when my husband and I lived in Southern California, we would go to Disneyland, and like the Star Wars area, because it's located like in the back of the park, would just be so calm at night. And we would just live our best lives. Like, I miss that so much, and I cannot wait if we are able to go back to the West Coast in the future. I cannot wait to live my best life. I am biased like that. I love Disneyland. I'm a Disneyland girly. Disney World is fantastic, but it is just too much. It's too much. I'm getting too old. I like my experiences to be consolidated, interesting, unique, fun. I'm not trying to like do the most. And I feel like when you come to Disney World, you have to like overly plan, really get yourself together. But this is just so cool. I love the area over here. And I'm continuing to make the loop around. But how are you all doing? I hope you're having a wonderful evening wherever you're dialing in from. So I spent most of the walk and talk talking about the topic of focus, which is the Queen, and how I just don't know. I think I love Beyonce, but Cowboy Carter, y'all, it may be my last tour, but we'll see what happens with part 3, especially if like after her 3rd album comes out, a part of the like Renaissance trilogy, so to speak, if it's giving what it's supposed to give, and if she does something especially where she's combining like the, you know, Cowboy Carter Renaissance and then whatever she's intending to do with this like 3rd album, then I don't know, I may then feel more compelled. I'm like, I don't know, I'm tired of spending hundreds of dollars. Beyonce's taking all my money, please stop it. Like, I just, here's Buzz. Here's Buzz when you need him. Buzz knows that I am in distress right now, and he could be saving anyone, but you know, I feel like he sees me walking up and he's like, girl, let me save you from yourself. Quit spending all this money on Beyonce. Buzz, please help me. Please help my wallet, Buzz. You know I need some relief because I have to keep affording these annual passes to Disney. He's like, yeah, girl, I can't help you with that. It's not in my contract. Come on now, Buzz. Come on. I get it, though. We don't want you beefing with the mouse. But Toy Story Land, also another great area that is so cute and so well detailed, unlike how they have done our Muppets dirty. All right, I'm gonna stop. That'll be my last time mentioning it. But it's just like so much fun, and I have not been back to Hollywood Studios. It's been like months. I am so ashamed of myself because I spent a lot of time at like Magic Kingdom during the holiday season, even Animal Kingdom, believe it or not, and Epcot. And I feel like I treat Hollywood Studios like it's a redheaded stepchild, but it's so charming. And now that I'm here, I'm just like, why do I not like add this to my rotation more often? I kind of forget about Hollywood Studios. How dare I? But it is so beautiful. And look at the string lights. And you truly just feel like you're in Andy's toy box. And we are going to continue walking down. And there's like a lot. So you have like, in terms of back here, Slinky Dog Dash. You have also the, I'm forgetting the name of the ride, but you have like the shooters, which that is a lot of fun. And I know that there are a couple other things. I may actually be getting dinner back here later this evening, so TBD, we'll see. But Midway runway. It's just so nice and charming. And there's Slinky Dog, which I have not ridden Slinky Dog because the line is just always too intense. Oh my gosh, my sister. What you want, fool? Oh, you're in Star Wars? I can circle back that way. All right. Y'all, look at my sister's drip. So y'all know she was decked out in Winnie the Pooh, and now she has her, she always gets so many compliments. She has her blue Spirit jersey, the most magical place on earth. Come on now. I think I told you all in my last video, my sister always hooks up her outfits. I am not that coordinated. Right now I have on a Jabberwocky shirt. I do have on my Mickey Crocs, which are, I think, very cute and adorable. And I am not a Crocs girl. I have never been a Crocs girl, but I decided to get over myself. Oh my gosh, looks like a lot of fun. I decided to get over myself and just do it. You know, because you got to be comfortable. Even though I don't think Crocs are the most attractive shoes, we are going to pick substance over style when it comes to walking the parks. Don't be stupid and try to be cute. And you can actually get some really cute Crocs, especially the Disney themed ones. But don't try to be too cute. And you come out here and then your feet are sore. Like, that is the worst feeling when you have still several hours left in the day and your feet are killing you. And then guess what? Here comes Disney to the rescue to take their coins, because all their gift shops have either some Crocs or some flip-flops, something. So at the very least, you'll have options, but you better be ready to take out that wallet that Buzz Lightyear is supposed to be saving us from, and you better be ready to spend that coin. But yeah, y'all, we are going to actually make our way back because my co-producer and sister are going to head over to the Star Wars area. So we are going to actually close up our walk and talk. This was truly a lot of fun. And I always love talking with you all, even if you're not able to join live, but you watch this later. I hope that you find some like laughter and joy. And I'm going to be doing these pretty much on Wednesdays. I think the only way I will deviate from Wednesdays is if I'm not able. I'm very, very, very new when it comes to content creating. And I just appreciate those of you all that are able to join. And, you know, if I continue to grow this audience out, I definitely will continue to walk and talk on Wednesdays, because I think it's important, right? To just like get out, have a good time, enjoy the views at Disney. But otherwise, I may pivot maybe to another day if it seems like that's more preferable. But drop down in the comments, let me know what you think, especially if you have any feedback, if there are any topics that you want to talk about. I just, like, Cowboy Carter came to the top of my mind because I'm still feeling a bit of buyer's remorse. Even though I am excited to see Beyonce, I'm excited to go to Chicago. I've never been to Chicago. So once again, if you have any recommendations, let me know. Let me know what I should try. I am going to do some recording while I'm in Chicago and just, you know, bring you on the journeys, shopping journeys with Jillian. Like, you know, I'm going to hook you up with some experiences, right? you know we're going to try some cafes. We're going to be living our best bougie adjacent life. But let me know. And I am probably going to rotate different parks. Like right now we're at Hollywood Studios. I may try to, of course, rotate and go to Magic Kingdom, go to Epcot, maybe Animal Kingdom, but the hours of Animal Kingdom, and this is not my full-time job. So if I'm able to balance out the work schedule, I will definitely try to, fit in some moments at Animal Kingdom. I also will definitely peep out Universal, but Universal is the same way. Like, it's so insane that like off-peak Universal, especially versus like Islands of Adventure, still Universal, but you all know what I mean. Like, they just have weird hours where they close a little early, and I'm just like, I can't. Like, I am working, and sometimes I work a lot of overtime. I put that time in. I'm in the tech industry, so you all know. We have some Stormtroopers in our midst. Y'all, do you think the Stormtroopers would go see Beyonce? I think they would. I think they would be living their best lives. But we are going to continue to make our way, and I think I'm probably going to try to hop on a ride here. But I am, let's see what's going on here. So yeah, stepping into the show. We have Kylo Ren.
You are a poor ambassador.
Oh, there we go.
Have you found the resistance spy?
Oh my God, y'all, I would love to be the resistance spy. I would be undercover. I'd be getting my spy on.
We're sent to find her.
No, torture.
If she is here, she may not be alone. Do you understand?
I wish.
The resistance must not be allowed to recruit.
I would be so sneaky to try to take him out.
This outpost knows
I'm not going to let you torture me, honey.
We need to find them.
Will Kylo Ren be a Beyonce fan? I don't know. That's questionable.
Troopers.
But I think Kylo Ren can like work some of his powers and get us some tickets. Oh my goodness, that was fun to see that. Well, y'all, I feel like we should just end it on that note. That was fun to see the Kylo Ren and the Stormtroopers. A little bit of torture trying to find the spy. But with that being said, thank you all so much for joining me on this walk and talk again. If you have any topics that you would like to discuss, hit your girl up. I know there was a lot going on today. I don't know if any of you all are Housewives fans or you follow that franchise. Karen Huger, Miss Karen is going to jail. Honey, she got sentenced to 2 years. I think the 1 year in jail, and the second year I think she'll be on probation or house arrest or something. But oh my gosh, like I almost thought about switching the topic to that. But there's already been so many great content creators that have covered it ad nauseum. But any topics you all would like to discuss, let your girl know. I'll turn around so you can see all the cool Star Wars backdrop behind me. But thank you for joining me on this journey. I can't wait to cover more topics with you on our Walk and Talk Wednesday. Have a good evening. Bye.